My name is Griff Dorsey. I am a professional soccer player, right back for the Houston Dynamo. I was drafted in 2019 to Toronto FC, 6th overall pick in the Super Draft from Indiana University. At that point I was a forward, and I joined Toronto, and from the start I was ready to fly. I had just come off a college season. My college team had done really well. I was feeling confident in myself, my abilities. I didn't necessarily know what the MLS season would entail, but at that point I felt like I was well equipped to take on whatever challenges were gonna head my way. I remember veteran player Ashton Morgan played around the league. He sat me down and he was like, strap in, because this entire career is gonna feel like a roller coaster. And that 2.5 years did not disappoint, that's for sure. And quickly I started to realize how demanding and how challenging this career really is. I started my first professional game, CONCACAF Champions League in Panama, starting alongside my idols, Michael Bradley, Josie Altidore. I mean, some of these names that are United States, US men's national team legends, the players I grew up watching and dreaming about being a part of their careers and their paths. I felt like, oh my gosh, I've made it. Like, I'm starting alongside these players. I've done something I can fully grasp onto and say like, all right, I'm good enough to be here. And over the course of the coming months, I realized how challenging the career would be, whether that's setbacks, whether that's the coach not necessarily believing in you, whether that's exhaustion. I hit some major speed bumps, and that was a huge challenge for me. And for the rest of my TFC career, I was chasing that high that I had achieved essentially in the first professional game of my career, which was a start and to play alongside legends like that. That was the only game I ever started for Toronto FC. And if that doesn't describe the roller coaster, I don't know what does. The first year of my career, I ended with a knee surgery, and really at that point, I was pretty miserable. I wasn't having fun, and I didn't know why I wasn't having fun. My entire life was always about becoming a professional soccer player. Every wish I had, every time I saw a shooting star, it was always, I want to be a professional soccer player. And it was always set in my back of my mind, and I worked every day to accomplish that dream. And so I thought once I accomplished that dream that, the world would be mine. I would have endless happiness. I would feel fantastic every single day, and I would love doing the career that I'm doing. But once failure started to set in, it was something that I had never experienced before, and it was something that no one can prepare you for. It was a real world life experience of, hey, if this is really what you want, there's a lot of learning lessons that you have to go through in order to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And so for me, it was about finding a new direction. I was able to lean on my parents heavily, my brother, my sister, and even extended family on my mom's side and my dad's side. People to talk to, people to express my unhappiness. And so those were the people that I leaned on. At the end of my time in Toronto, halfway through 2021, I got released, cut from the team. I was under a guaranteed contract. That was a humongous letdown for me. There was a level of disbelief in myself and my capabilities. I had been working tirelessly, trying to accomplish really truly being a professional athlete, but all of my work felt like it had accumulated to zero. No playing time, and now being cut from a team. And so at that point, I was at the lowest of the lows. And for me, it was about a new opportunity. My agent had talked to me, and he was basically like, you can go the USL route, or Houston Dynamo is here and they can basically give you a trial offer. So I was like, I'm gonna stay in the league and I'm gonna try to make this thing work. And I came to Houston with no guarantees of signing a contract. They basically stuck their necks out for me as well by saying this guy has no backing, but we're gonna give him an opportunity. So for that, I'm always grateful for Houston Dynamo, because without them, I don't know where I'd be in my career, but definitely wouldn't be right here, right now with all the success that I've had. And so for me, Houston Dynamo is everything. For them to be able to stick their necks out for me and give me an opportunity to show that I belong in this league, and that I can be a part of this league, and that I can thrive in this league. My first initial experiences of Houston were quite beautiful. At that point, I'd had my wife with me, so we kind of got to experience it all together, which was incredibly beautiful. It was an opportunity for us to grow on the field and also off the field, learn a bit about each other, learn a bit about, for me it was learning about myself, finding out where my values lie, and ultimately just continuing to work as hard as I can to continue the dream of being a professional soccer player. I had been on trial for 3 months, so I was kind of waiting. Every day was a new day of like, is this happening? Is this not happening? Why has it not happened? And then when it finally did come, I think it was more of a relief than it was like a complete excitement. It was like, oh yes, finally. Like, I feel like I've worked my tail off. I've proved to people that I belong here, and now I'm getting rewarded for it. And so that was undoubtedly still a very special moment.
Quintero, he's just slipped through. Quintero shot the save. It's a chance for Dorsey. And it goes. It's 1-0. It's a perfect start here for the Houston Dynamo. Griff and Dorsey after some magic from Darwin Quintero.
I get the chills when I think about it still. There's so much more that went into that goal than what was happening for the Houston Dynamo, what was happening for myself. I mean, I feel like that goal was the first elated feeling that I got where I'm like, I do feel like I belong, and genuinely believing it. And when you see it in my celebration, it's like you can feel the weight being lifted off of my shoulders almost. And I feel like that was the first time I ever really got to connect with the fans in a real way. That was like, everyone felt that relief. I think at that point we had won a game and a ton of games. We might have even set a Houston Dynamo record at that time for winless streak. Not that I'm proud of it, but that started an elation feeling that wasn't just me, it was also the Houston Dynamo organization and something that was so much bigger than me. Without fans, there is none of this. And so I think the connection with the fans is one of the most powerful things that there is. And I'm just incredibly grateful for the fans and their openness and accepting of me from the start of my career here. I feel like it's been endless, the love and support that I've received from Houston and the fan base in general. I felt the love every single day, and that's what continued to drive me to be the best version of myself every day.